Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence Roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, direct response marketing expert, Seth Greene, alongside the original shark on the hit TV show Shark Tank and the inventor of the infomercial, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, Seth, great to be here. I'm really excited about today's show. We got a special guest, and you're going to be doing the introduction, but looking forward to today.
Yeah, absolutely. We are honored to have Tom Ziglar on with us today. Tom, obviously of the Ziglar family, which should need no introduction. Zig's books, courses, tapes, products, and speeches influenced millions and millions of entrepreneurs and salespeople, and we're thrilled to catch up with Tom today. Tom, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Kevin. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, and by the way, I think it's hundreds of millions actually when you really do the math on Zig and all the people that the family has touched. Tom's pretty amazing. When do you remember the first time that when you were probably watching Zig or listening to him that you realized he was a superstar?
Wow. You know, there are a couple of turning points. I'll tell you the first time I was just started working for the company, we went to this big event, like 30,000 people there, and I was working the product table.
Okay.
So this is cassette tapes and books, and you know, I knew who Dad was, but I hadn't seen him in this context of the crowd. And Dad was a surprise guest that day.
Oh, wow.
So they emptied the stadium, and then we set up our products. We put tablecloths over the product. They opened the doors back up. 30,000 people run in. Like the first guy through the door looks at our table, and the tablecloth had gotten sideways, and he saw Dad's picture on a cassette album. And he looks at me, is Zig Ziglar going to be here? And so I give him the shh sign because it's a surprise. And I say, yeah, but don't tell anybody. And then the guy says, where's the line? I want to get an autograph. Well, this was 7 o'clock at night, and Dad started speaking at 12:30 that night.
Oh, my God.
It was an Amway event. And the guy waits in line starting at 7, even though there is no line. And so I said to him, what's your story? And basically the short story is, he immigrated to the United States for a better life. He decided he needed to learn English. His brother gave him the book, See You at the Top, and said, translate this from English into Spanish and back. Not only will you learn English, but it'll change your life. And when I heard him tell me that with tears in his eyes,
wow,
in the context of 30,000 people, that's when I just kind of rocked back on my heels. And I said, wait a second, we're not in the book and tape business. We're in the life-changing business.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So.
Amazing. And so once they finally opened that table to sell something, you probably had just an onslaught of people. You probably left there at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll bet you. I mean,
we did. Yeah. We had one event. I remember counting this, Kevin. We had 22 people taking orders. The order was $199. And this was the old days before credit card machines. They just wrote their credit card down on the piece of paper.
Right.
We had 22 people taking 3 orders a minute each for about 15 minutes.
Wow. Unbelievable.
So,
do the math. That's a lot of money. Okay.
we were just handing it over. I say all that because Dad had this unique ability to inspire somebody to take action, which there's a lot of great speakers today, but people don't necessarily leave and take action. So,
right. Yeah. So I think full disclosure here, Seth, I got involved with the Ziglar family because I believe, obviously, Zig has taught so many people so many powerful things. I learned a great deal from Zig. As you know, I call Zig my mentor because of all the teachings, the automobile university that he had when people would be. I was a salesman listening to tapes back in the day. I remember, actual audio cassette tapes and going back to the different technologies that existed back in the early days. But Zig, what I was most fond of Zig's was his sales teachings and, his book, Secrets of Closing the Sale. And so I just, put a little relationship together with the Ziglar family. Tom, obviously, is the lead guy there to help bring the word to the masses today. And so we've got some internet programs of doing that. But, we're not really here to talk about that so much as, Tom, you followed in years watching Zig do what he was doing. And now I think your dad passed away, was it 6 or 7 years ago, right?
Yeah, 6 years ago, November.
Okay. And so you have a new book coming out. You've got new stuff. Let's talk about what you're doing now, Tom, to kind of further the legacy of your father, and then what you're doing for your own legacy.
You bet. I've got a book coming out. It's called Choose to Win. And it's really, people, they look at and I'll just give everybody something that was really a challenge for me. I felt really uncomfortable getting on stage and speaking. And the reason for that is I thought people would compare me to my father. Yeah. I mean, who wants to be Jack Nicklaus's kid on the PGA Tour? I mean, that's kind of a hard deal. And then I realized something, Dad never approached it that way. He always told us, whatever you do with 100% integrity and 100% effort. So he never put that burden on me. It was a self-imposed thing.
Right.
And so I had to sit back and go, why do I think that way? And I had a false belief that people wanted me to be like Dad on stage. And that's not true. People want the same philosophy. They want the same character, the same principles, the same values, but you got to be your own person. And so for the entrepreneurs out there that are trying to fill somebody else's shoes, so to speak, you can't do it. You've got to be the best version of yourself, and you listen to the same wisdom, the things that work for people. So when I figured that out, I got comfortable on stage. And I'll just be honest, I'm kind of a nerd. I'm kind of an intellectual engineer. I like the why behind the why. And so I just said, what is it? What's the one simplest thing that somebody could do that would totally change their life? If you just did it over and over again, what would it do? And that's what the book Choose to Win is about. It's about this simple idea. The fastest way to success is to replace bad habits with good habits.
Yeah.
And it unfolded, and I speak all over the world now on this subject, and the book comes out March 5th. So that's what I'm excited about. That's what we're doing. It's a perfect extension of everything Ziglar, and there's a lot of new information in there as well. The world has changed. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's changed a lot with technology and everything else. But so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. And go ahead, Seth.
I was going to just say you're carrying the torch and creating your own legacy at the same time. What do you see as, what are people coming to with the biggest challenges now? When it might've been a different, as you mentioned, times change, when Zig was keynoting, the Get Motivated or the Success Tours, what are you seeing?
Yeah. So I was speaking at an event, and this young man came up to me. He is 28, 29. He's got 3 kids under 5. He's very successful in the job that he has, but he's dependent upon an employer. And so he's trying to step out into the entrepreneurial real estate investing kind of world. And he comes up to me, and this is the question I hear everywhere. Oh, I love your plan, but I know me. I'll start it for 3 days, and then I'll get distracted. I'll be up all night playing video games, or I'll watch TV. And so I think the truth is we live in a world of distraction. You know, there's like all these inputs, all these text messaging, all the social media. And the question is, are we going to focus on what's going to take us to our dream, or are we going to let the distractions take over our life and settle? And so we go into great detail in the book about how do you identify and clarify your why you do something. And that's the problem, especially the under 40 set. If you don't have your why identified, you get distracted very easily, and you will stay on things for 2 or 3 weeks at a time and then move on. But when you find somebody who is just obsessed with a goal, there is no distraction that pulls them away from it. But the question is, how do you get there? How do you create that? And that's one of the things we talk about in the book. How do you identify your why? Get clarity in that area.
Yeah, that's great. And so Seth, Tom and I have been all over the world ourselves speaking together, one of which was Sao Paulo, Brazil. And we had a great Brazilian steakhouse meal for, you know, I tell you, you had enough to eat there for 5 people, I think, both of us that night, right? But, you know, this is the great thing about what Tom teaches, what I teach, Seth, what you teach. We're teaching to a global audience. Zig, when I first was, I was in Brazil back in the mid-90s, but recently, about 3 years ago, I was hanging out in Brazil, and I was talking to somebody about, they said, what are you doing? And I say, I'm involved in this project with the Ziglar family, Zig Ziglar. And this gentleman actually went on to tell me, and here he lives in Sao Paulo, Brazil, speaks broken English, but mostly Portuguese, that he has these Portuguese tapes of Zig Ziglar dubbed, and that he'd been listening to for dozens of years. And so it's just amazing. I mean, I think, Tom, that your father his books were out in how many languages, how many countries?
I think around 60 different languages. Of course, he has over 30 books out, over 40 books out now. You know, Kevin, it's amazing to me that he's had about 7 or 8 published since he passed away.
Oh, wow.
And that's just transcription off of the, you know, in the Secrets Vault, we found out all that material.
Yes.
That's, you know, people aren't familiar with, but we found old recordings that we've turned into books. So I think the brand recognition, if anything, it's the same or higher than it was when he was in his peak, just because it's so much easier to get the message out. At the same time, the message of choose to win and the Ziglar message is more needed than ever, because we get all the fake news, right? We get all the doom and gloom and the things that get people off track, and people, they get so hyper focused on things they can't control that they give up on what they can control. And that's really a message that people need to hear now more than ever. There's never been a better time in the world to start a business, to advance in your career, to achieve the things that you want. It's easier than it's ever been, yet it feels like it's tougher. And the reason is because they don't have a clear plan, and that's what we try to create.
Yeah.
What do you like best about what you do?
Well, that's easy. That's the people. You know, when I get to go somewhere and speak and train or do something, people come up left and right. Oh, this changed me. I love what you said on that podcast. Oh, I read your dad's book 20 years ago. Hey, I came through your program, certification program 2 years ago. Look what's happened now. We really, and you know, there's just a blessing when somebody says, my business is better, my marriage is better, and my health is better. I mean, there aren't many categories that you can do in business where you impact somebody's whole life. And so hearing the stories of whole life change. And so we approach the people with, what's your greatest need? that old parable, if a man's hungry, feed him, and then you can teach them, right? But if they're hungry, you can't teach them anything, right? Because their mind is distracted. And so we start with whatever somebody's greatest need is, then we teach them, and then we go to that next level, which we call significance. That's where you teach them how to fish, right? Where they can carry it on.
Right. That sort of fits into the choose to win then too. You teach them how to fish, you teach them how to choose their future path and how to be motivated in that process. So I'm really looking forward to your book, Tom. When is it? What kind of dates and when's it going to be available?
You bet. Well, you can get it now. You can go to choosetowinbook.com. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
And you can order it right now through Amazon or anywhere.
Oh, okay.
It's actually going to be shipping out March 5th. But if you order early in the Ziglar way and in the Kevin Harrington way, but wait, there's more. There are bonuses that come with it. So there's no reason to wait. You can go there. There's some free downloads and there's some bonuses that you get when you get the book. So it's just choosetowinbook.com is where you go.
I'm writing that down. Okay.
That is where we will send everybody.
So I love when hanging out with Tom every day. He's the stories that he's got, the unbelievable things. I mean, like one day I was noticing he had a beautiful tie, and he's, oh, well, this was Zig's tie. So I mean, I think that's so special to be able to have things like that. And God bless. It's an amazing number of years, and that you've been out there doing what you do, and seeing you now. This is how many of your own books are out there, Tom?
This is my first solo book. I had co-written some, one with Dad.
Okay.
This is my first one, and so it really is. I'll be 54 coming up, so this is a lifetime of this industry of personal development, of success. And I've been privileged because you name the person, I probably had a green room experience with them because of the access that we've had.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of people that I call friends and mentors who have influenced so many, who were influenced by Dad. So I'm privileged. And then I think about, just the impact that our company continues to have, and the reality that people need a plan. They need a specific guide. The book is really one of the cornerstones of it. It's about legacy. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I say is, hey, guess what? You're going to leave a legacy. The question is it by design or by chance?
Right.
And so if we can start thinking about leaving a legacy by design today, if that's our goal, if that's our why, if that's our purpose, to leave a legacy, then success and significance are part of the package. Aim higher, go bigger.
Yeah. Get rid of that stinking thinking, right? I love some of the sayings. We could go
why take the stairs when you can take the elevator to the top?
That's right.
Yeah. I was one of my friends that had a bad day, and he was talking about, he got unfairly taken apart. And I said, hey, I remember the first time that happened to me in my work career. I called Dad and I said, Dad, hey, this happened. It's not fair, blah, blah, blah. It happens to all of us. And this is what Dad said. He said, well, son, sometimes the only taste of success people have is when they take a bite out of you.
Hey, there you go. I liked it,
And it was just a little mind shift. So for those of us who get torn up sometimes, it's not about us, right? It's about them. So
right. Well, it's, as your father would say, you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. I certainly have lived that philosophy in my life before I even knew exactly those words that Zig had put out. But God bless, it's an amazing way of life. And when it comes to sales, it's solving problems for people. That was the Zig's philosophy was help them solve a problem. This is not about closing to make the sale, to make the money. It's about finding their pain point, solving their problem, helping them out in the process, and then you can make that sale. So I know I've been a problem solver. I mean, even all the products over the years that I've sold, from fitness products to kitchen products, made your life easier in the kitchen, more fun, more this, more that, or you lost weight with Tony Littles. We're solving problems, and that was a very simple way for me to sell: problem, solution, and make it happen. And so with an irresistible offer at the end. But so yeah, I think Choose to Win is a great title, and let's hope we can get some big traction for you. With some of the things that we're starting here today. But I know you've got a marketing plan probably for the book itself. What other kinds of things will you be doing for the book launch?
Oh wow! Well, we've got probably a dozen or so podcasts, different companies that are coming out. Of course, we've got our newsletter. Social media is really going on. Our publisher, Thomas Nelson, is putting a big push behind it. And I've been blessed with the people I know. And for example, I'm going to be on Dave Ramsey's program, working with him. And of course, he was influenced by Dad, and he and I have maintained a good relationship. And so we're just blessed to have so many people that we're doing it. We're also putting on events around the country by the same title, Choose to Win.
Nice.
One coming up in May. That's part of the bonus offer that we're talking about. So
nice.
If you go to choosetowinbook.com, you can find out more about that as well. It's when I look at all this, Kevin, when you talk about solving problems, one of my mentors, his name is Rabbi Daniel Lapin, and he said this: when we solve a problem, we're often rewarded with a certificate of appreciation. We call that money. And the more problems we solve, the more certificates we get. And then here's the tie-down quote that I love. He said this. He said, God is never happier with his children than when they're solving the problems of his other children. And so for you in business today, when you have a product or a service that solves a problem, just know that I believe the creator of the universe is smiling because you are serving other people.
Exactly.
And if that's your motive, if that's your mindset, if that's your belief, then the hardest part of sales is now done. The hardest part of selling is building trust. And when your audience knows you're doing it for their benefit, that's when trust is born. So
fantastic.
On that note, it's been a huge honor to have you on the show. Obviously, we're big fans here at Sharkpreneur, and we will send everyone to choosetowinbook.com. Pre-order now, get the Ziglar bonuses, and then obviously look for Secrets of Closing the Sale Masterclass when that reopens as well. Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.
Hey, Tom. Great seeing you, buddy. Take care. Safe travels.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.